have been raised with plenty of access to the real outdoors and in humane conditions. Well, let's talk about what the real outdoors is. What these new standards allow is that chickens can be raised for egg layers. They can be raised in entire confinement in a factory house, no different than Tyson, for the first 16 weeks of their lives. Now they start laying at 20 weeks. So 16 weeks is, basically from chick to starting to lay. And then after they go to laying houses, they can be locked up for an additional 5 weeks, quote, to get used to their nesting boxes. So this is complete factory housing for at least 21 weeks. Now think about this. So they've got little outdoor pop doors that they can go outside, but 25%, the first 25% of the outdoor access area can be concrete or gravel. Now let me tell you something. A chicken does not like walking on gravel.
Welcome to Beyond Labels. I'm Dr. Stina McCullough, and I'm here with our favorite farmer, Joel Salatin. And today we have a special program. We're actually going to do a report on the latest news about what's happening with our food supply. We have two breaking stories that Joel's going to go into in great detail. The first is that the USDA has just published their new and allegedly improved organic livestock and poultry practices standards. We're going to be talking about why some organizations are claiming this is a win, but we don't see it that way. And the second breaking news comes out of a meeting from the National Organic Standard Board, and they have decided to allow something else into organic livestock production that Joel and I are not that happy about. So, Joel, I hand it over to you. Enlighten us.
Yeah, well, so this is one of my soapboxes, if you don't mind, and I'll start. So this is being developed. Let's give credit where credit is due. The Organic Eye is a watchdog organization. So there's kind of two. I'll just tell you the two kind of organic standard watchdog organizations that I am a member, get their information, is Organic Eye and the Cornucopia Group. One's in Wisconsin, one's in New England, and both of them have similar roots. One of the most commonality parts of them is Mark Castell. Mark Castell is the kind of senior researcher and is now at Organic Eye. But let me just tell you what Tom Chapman, who is the CEO of the Organic Trade Association, has just said. He says the organic sector and organic consumers have been clamoring for stricter animal welfare standards for 20 years now, and the Organic Trade Association and its members have spearheaded that fight. These new standards not only create a more level playing field for organic producers, but they ensure consumers that the organic meat, poultry, dairy, and eggs they choose have been raised with plenty of access to the real outdoors and in humane conditions.
Well, that sounds like a win. What's the problem?
It sounds like a big win. And so all you folks out there that are depending on the organic label, let me tell you a little bit about what this new standard is, because this has been my soapbox forever as what we call ourselves a pastured poultry producer in direct juxtaposition to the factory farming system, where we have portable hen houses as opposed to stationary, and the birds are actually on pasture, except for right in the dead of winter, when we bring them into some hoop houses for their own protection for the weather. But so this is the organic livestock and poultry standards. This is what's been touted as a huge win. I want you to think about this. First of all, the industry is being given 5 years to comply with these standards. 5 years. Okay. It's a little bit like several years ago when Burger King announced that they were going to use cage-free eggs. And I got a call from the food writer from the Washington Post, called me and wanted to comment on this new, big, wonderful breakthrough from Burger King. We're going to have, and what they said was that they would institute this policy, cage-free eggs, in 10 years. 10 years. And they were getting all this wonderful press. Oh, this is so wonderful, Burger King. Wow, they're the greatest. And so when his food writer asked me about it, I said, 10 years. I said, we've got a Burger King, 15 minutes from our house, been here for 10 years. They could have been getting, pastured eggs way better than cage-free, which is basically just a factory farm, but they're not in cages. They could have been getting them from us 10 years ago. Not only could they have gotten them 10 years ago, who needs 10 years? They could get them tomorrow, and so this kind of stuff is, it's between irritating and frustrating, how duplicitous the consuming public is to just, they see this report, what this chairman, this president said that I just said, he, have been raised with plenty of access to the real outdoors and in humane conditions. Well, let's talk about what the real outdoors is. So what these new standards allow is that chickens can be raised for, for egg layers. They can be raised in entire confinement in a factory house, no different than Tyson, for the first 16 weeks of their lives. Now they start laying at 20 weeks. So 16 weeks is, basically from chick to starting to lay. And then after they go to laying houses, they can be locked up for an additional 5 weeks, quote, to get used to their nesting boxes. Okay. So this is complete factory housing for at least 21 weeks. Now think about this. The outside, so that they're supposed to have access to pasture. So they've got little outdoor pop doors that they can go outside, but 25% of the first 25% of the outdoor access area can be concrete or gravel. Now, let me tell you something. A chicken does not like walking on gravel. They don't like walking on concrete. So, in other words, now think about this with me. You've got this big factory house full of chickens, and you've got little doors, like a little dog door that they can go out of, a few of them, along. Now, remember, they haven't been outside now for 21 weeks of their life, okay, which is about 30% of their entire life, all right? So they're completely mature, they're laying eggs, they've been in this environment for their whole life, and suddenly someone opens a few dog doors along the edge and says, now you can go out. But out is concrete and gravel, both of which hurt the chicken's feet. They don't want to walk in concrete and gravel, so they don't go out. But you know what? They've got access to the outdoors, and so that complies with the organic rule that says they have to have access to the outdoors. But nobody goes outdoors because they don't want to go outdoors. I mean, it's like saying you can have candy bars. See, there's an island over there. You can have candy bars over there. You can have all you want. All you have to do is swim through this moat of crocodiles, and you can have all the candy bars you want. Who's going to go get candy bars? Because, you're not going to swim the moat with crocodiles in it. Oh, sorry, I'm getting all fired up about this. But
actually, depends on how desperate I am. I might take the risk, but
how desperate you are. But
yeah.
you see the point. What you have here is the entire house is surrounded by a chicken unfriendly environment, and you're saying you can go out and have a blade of grass way over there if you go through here, to a chicken that's never been outside a day in their life for the first 30% of their whole lives. So it's just insane. Broilers can be completely confined for the first 4 weeks of their lives, and they only live 5 to 7 weeks in most industrial settings. So broilers can be completely confined for 4 weeks of their lives, which is generally about 60 to 70% of their entire life. And then, oh, well, then you can go outside. But again, outside is not desirable. It is not a desirable place to go. So the fact that the industry is touting this as some sort of a a breakthrough in the organic standards, in complying with outdoor access, with pasture, with green space, and even having more space to run is simply it's absurd. It's just absurd. And it shows, Sina, how the National Organic Standards Board, and we've reported about this in the past, how it's being taken over by industry people. Look, when a nice little organic operation sells to Purdue or Cargill or whatever, whatever those initial entrepreneurs developed is going to get compromised. That's just the way it is. And what you have here, and of course it comes back to why I said from the very beginning, decades ago when the organic standards were started, this is like the fox guarding the hen house. The USDA, I call it the USDA, has made fun of organics from day one. It's always made fun of this. I mean, I can remember 35 years ago, our Virginia Commissioner of Agriculture, Dr. Mason Carball, writing in his spring newsletter, if we want organic, we've just got to decide which half of the world we're going to kill, because organics can't feed the world. And so we've just got to decide which half to kill. And I mean, I've grown up with this, and now we're going to put these people in charge of the organic standards of integrity and authenticity. Really? I mean, it's absolutely the proverbial fox guarding the hen house.
Thank you for joining us on Beyond Labels. Our mission with this podcast is to make it accessible to everyone.
But we are behind a paywall because the issues we discuss are often subject to censorship. We've run into that, and so we have an extremely modest paywall to let us have the freedom to discuss the kind of issues we want to discuss in the way we want to discuss them. And you can become a member and enjoy all this content by clicking on the description box below. We look forward to having you join our family.